Welcome to part 2 of observability series, which is about logs. In this video, I'll be explaining about what is Elasticsearch, what is Logstash, what is Kibana and FileBeat, and how does logs flow through these ELK stack, and at last a quick demo on how to integrate logging and how to make it available in Elasticsearch and view in Kibana. So let's start. Elasticsearch. So what is Elasticsearch? Basically, it is a NoSQL database, but not designed to be used as a common database. Rather, it is designed differently so as to work as a distributed RESTful search and analytics engine. It means Elasticsearch is designed to work best with search. It is designed to give efficient search results. It certainly stores your data, but for lightning fast search, fine-tuned relevancy, and powerful analytics that scale with ease. So now the next is Logstash. Logstash is a data processing pipeline that ingests data dynamically and then transforms and ships them regardless of the format or complexity. When I say transform, then it is something like maybe deriving structure from an unstructured data, cipher geocoordinates from IP address, or anonymize or exclude sensitive fields. It actually eases the overall processing. Now we have Kibana. Kibana is a user interface that lets you visualize your Elasticsearch data and navigate the Elastic stack, providing search and data visualization capability for data indexed in Elasticsearch. It eases the data analysis by providing the facility to create bar charts, pie chart, tables, histogram, maps, etc. Next one is FileBeat. Though FileBeat doesn't come in this ELK stack, but actually FileBeat is also equally important. FileBeat is a lightweight shipper for forwarding and centralizing the log data. It is installed as an agent in a server. FileBeat monitors the log's location and collects the log event and forward them to Elasticsearch or Logstash. Usually we forward it to Logstash. Though we have several libraries which can directly push data to Elasticsearch, but it is preferred to use an agent because pushing logs to Elasticsearch can sometimes be an overhead for application and its resource itself. It would be preferred to keep the application environment lightweighted. In that case, FileBeat would be helpful. Now let's try to connect the dots and try to understand how log flows in this stack. Application pushes the log to log file. FileBeat collects these files and ship the logs to Logstash. This Logstash will then process the data and push it to Elasticsearch. Now since the data is available in database, that is Elasticsearch, we need to view it in order to analyze. So we bring Kibana here and view the data. So this completes the log flows. Now let's jump to a very quick demo where I will add logs to a sample .NET application and configure and start ELK stack with FileBeat and show the logs in Kibana. For the ease of understanding, I have created a very simple web API which would print OK from project 1 on a GET request. Let's see the initial state of the project. I'm not using IIS as I would like to view the logs in console. So as I mentioned, this project is printing OK from project 1 on the GET request. And in the console, we don't see any log as we have not added any logs yet. So now let's add logs to our application. I will import the iLogger in the constructor and would add the required reference, which is the Microsoft extension logging. Let's add an info log. Sample project 1 is called. Now, since we are done with adding logs, next step is to export this logs to a console or a file. For that, I would be using Serilog. So let's add the required nugget package for Serilog. These are the required packages for Serilog such as ASP.NET Core, hosting, things, etc. So now let's add the Serilog to our application. For that, we will use Serilog. Now we'll need to configure the Serilog. So for that, we need to step into our startup file and add the required reference. We would be configuring Serilog to pick up the configuration from the application configuration. That is nothing but app setting.json file. Next, let's step into the app setting files and add the required configuration. So now it is configured to log both in the console as well as in the file. Now let's try to run it and see if it is logging as expected. So as you can see, when we started, there were no logs, but now we have some logs in the console, and the log which we added is also printed in the console in the format as we wanted, like the timestamp, level of the information, and as well as the message. Now let's verify if the log are exported to the file also. So yes, we can see our logs in the file as well. Now the next is to bring up the ELK stack. For that, I have a Docker Compose file. So let's open and see what all we have added there. So as you can see, I have added 4 different containers, which is Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, as well as the FileBeat. So all the corresponding configuration path is also mentioned over here. I'll just quickly navigate to the configuration file of these 4 components. The Kibana doesn't have much other than the credential for the Elasticsearch. Same with the Logstash YAML. For the Logstash conf file, I have configured the Logstash to listen to port 5044 from FileBeat, which means the FileBeat would push the logs to port 5044 of Logstash. And same with FileBeat, I have configured the Logstash as the output. I have added the input configuration where the type is log and the path is mentioned from where the logs have to be picked up. Now let's bring up the container. I'm navigating to the path where the Docker Compose is available. Let's bring up the containers. Once the containers are up, let's open the Kibana portal. So the Kibana will be available in 5601 port. So let's try localhost 5601. For the first time, we need to add the index pattern. So let's add an index pattern. The pattern would be something like Logstash. You can already see the pattern being suggested to you. So the same you can use it. Now let's navigate to the dashboard. So you can see the logs available in the dashboard. Let's search for the log which we added. So yes, we can see the log which we added. And these logs are also formatted in the JSON format which we have mentioned. So yeah, that's all about the demo. So that's all about the video on logs. If you like my video, then please subscribe to my channel and let me know your inputs in the comment section below. Thank you.